New lifer for you.
Can we get out and look at them?
Yeah. Let me pull over.
Being a coastal state, Louisiana is home to many different bird species that spend their time around water. Some of these birds can be found along the oceans and salt marshes, while others reside in freshwater marshes and bayous. Today, we're at one of the top places to find waterfowl and wading birds in southern Louisiana, Lacassine National Wildlife Refuge. Lacassine Wildlife Refuge was created to provide a place for wintering waterfowl. It is now a birding hotspot and can hold some species that we were hoping to see, including Fulvous Whistling Ducks, Mottled Ducks, and Roseate Spoonbills.
So where's the best place at this spot?
Well, this is the Lacassine pool, and so there should just be an area with a ton of ducks, and it'll just kind of be picking through them to see if we can find what we want.
This wetland was filled with wading birds, with many white-faced and white ibises feeding just off the road. We also came across some blue-winged teals.
We have not found a lot of ducks yet. I did see some roseate spoonbills way far out there, not good looks, but they're around, which is exciting. We just want to see one a little closer.
After searching for a while, we came upon an area with a few ducks that looked a bit different.
Fulvous Whistling Ducks, new lifer for you.
Can we get out and look at them?
Yeah. Let me pull over.
This is exciting. Life bird. Fulvous Whistling Ducks out there. We're going to go get some better views of them, maybe even set up the tripod, but this is really exciting. A new duck species for me.
Fulvous Whistling Ducks look quite goose-like in their body shape. They have a long, thin neck, long legs, and a large bill. This species is orangey brown in color, with darker brown to black wings. They also have some white feathers on the flanks and undertail. Fulvous Whistling Ducks have blue-gray feet and legs, as well as a blue-gray bill. These ducks can be found year-round along the coasts of Mexico, Cuba, and in certain parts of Florida. During the winter months, some of them migrate north into the southern United States in places such as Texas, Louisiana, and Southern California. This species feeds mostly on aquatic invertebrates and the seeds of plants that grow in shallow water. Interestingly, this species often filter feeds by running water and substrate through their bill and eating the small creatures and seeds that they capture. Fulvous Whistling Ducks can be found in shallow wetlands, as well as flooded agricultural areas such as rice fields and crayfish farms. Migratory birds of this species will often show up in coastal salt marshes during migration and can be found in groups of the more numerous black-bellied whistling duck.
So we're looking at the Fulvous Whistling Ducks right now. I always get excited to see Fulvous because we see the black-bellied whistling duck so often that it's a treat to see the one that's a little bit different. And so actually when we passed these, I thought they might be Fulvous because they look kind of like a different color. They have kind of like a tannish body, and they're sitting kind of up a little bit. So it's a really great view. A little distant though, but still pretty clear.
We continued driving the road through the refuge. Along the way, we spotted large numbers of black-necked stilts, little blue herons, and American coots. We also found another duck that was a lifer for me, the mottled duck. Mottled ducks look very similar to their close relatives, the American black duck and Mexican duck. They have mottled light and dark brown on their body and wings, and a much lighter colored neck and head. Mottled ducks have a dark stripe on the top of their head and another stripe over their eye. There is a slight difference between males and females, as females have a dark-colored bill with an orange tip, and males have a bright yellow bill. This species is predominantly non-migratory, with most of their range existing on the Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Mexico. They can also be found throughout most of Florida, and some of the states along the Atlantic coast north of Florida. There is some migration in certain populations of mottled ducks, however. In winter, they travel farther south along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and in spring and summer, they move farther north into Texas. Mottled ducks eat a wide variety of plants and animals that are found in the water. Some of the most common live prey items include crayfish, aquatic insects, and even fish. In terms of plants, This species eats many different types, including smartweed, bulrush, and different grasses. Mottled ducks can be found in places with shallow water and plenty of vegetation. In some parts of their range, especially Florida, this species can be seen in urban areas, such as ponds and local parks. We made one loop around the refuge and decided to go around one more time as the sun was starting to go down. It was at this time that all the birds started to move in preparation for the night, and huge flocks of herons and ibises flew across the sky. In the midst of observing this spectacle, we noticed a pink bird wading through the water, a roseate spoonbill finally at close range. Just as soon as it arrived, it took off, but it was still my best look I've ever gotten.
Had a pretty good look at that spoonbill. It was a really colorful bird, and I got some views of it in one picture and a little bit of video. It was really cool. This area right now at the dusk time, or when everything is starting to kind of move around, is a really special place to be, and you can just feel the energy from nature and the birds, like that guy right there.
Look at him go.
With the sun finally setting to the point that it was getting hard to see, we headed out, feeling happy that our short time at Lacassine was as productive as it was, getting me a few lifers and my best views yet of a roseate spoonbill. The wetlands of the Gulf Coast are amazing places to see large quantities of birds. They serve as an important part of many different species' journeys across the country as they move to and from their breeding and wintering areas. I was glad to have the opportunity to see one of these wetlands firsthand and was enamored by its beauty. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.